When we talk about Angkor Wat, what part of the world are you talking about? Angkor Wat. It was a city in...
India?
Not India. No, it was not India. What is today Cambodia? Cambodia lies just west of the mountains from Vietnam. Vietnam is separated from Cambodia by mountains. Angkor Wat. Oh yes. The scholastics of the Middle Ages were greatly an admirer of which ancient person? Anybody remember? They greatly admired an ancient, you could call him a philosopher. He thought himself a scientist, Aristotle. The scholastics looked back, and so did the humanists of later time. They tended to look back. And particularly they look back to Aristotle because he compiled an encyclopedia. I must say Aristotle's encyclopedia that he worked all his life on was put like in a basement for 200 years and nobody saw. Then somebody saw it and read it and had said, hey, this is great that this man knew so much. And Aristotle became an icon of the medieval scholastics. Father of history, oh yes, Herodotus. I have mentioned, the Greek gods lived on Mount Olympus. Who was the Macedonian ruler who conquered the Persian Empire? Macedonian ruler who conquered Persia. Say it again. Alexander. Alexander the Great. The Peloponnesian War was fought between what two sides? Peloponnesian War. Sparta and Athens. Excellent. Sparta and Athens. Unfortunately, with Sparta winning, lasted 20 years. One thing that really hurt Athens was while they were living inside the city to be sieged of Sparta, a plague occurred. The plague did not hit the Spartans, but hit the Athenians. Now later on, an earthquake was to come and hit the Spartans. Sparta wound up extinct. Athens today is a city of more than 2 million people. Spartan lawgiver Lycurgus. The earliest Greek civilization we know about is the Minoan civilization. We don't know a lot about them. It's just that they were there, then all of a sudden it disappeared and the Greeks came in and took over. The Minoan civilization might have been wiped out by a tidal wave, a tsunami. What city is known as the City of Seven Hills? Rome. Let's see. All right. Okay, I'm not going to ask anything that, like real detail, but just know the basic stuff. Again, just to remind you that chances are, if you ever learned it once, it'll come back to you on a multiple choice test. All right. Is there anything else then that I need to say before the class closes?
Any questions on the test?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh yeah, what's the main difference between the Roman Catholic Church and the Eastern Orthodox Catholic Church? They have a few differences, but what is the main one? The Pope. The authority of the Pope. Yeah, there's another difference. The Eastern Orthodox allow their clergy to marry. But the main one is, the Western Church says the Pope is the head. The Eastern Church say no, the Pope is equal in rank to the Patriarch of Constantinople, the Patriarch of Jerusalem, and he is in no way the head over the church. He's equal in rank to the other ones. Who is the Mongol ruler who conquered much of China? Genghis Khan, yeah, Mongol ruler. Now, why do we Westerners remember Kublai Khan. I mean, we remember him anyway, but what was significant about Kublai Khan's reign from the Western perspective? What happened during his reign that we Westerners want to remember about him? He was the emperor when Marco Polo visited him. Marco Polo. I saw this, you saw this on the screen. Notice, indulgences were what?
Is that when you pay? So
Where you paid to commit a certain sin, paid for forgiveness of sins. They were probably instituted about the time of Innocent III. Oh yeah, there'll be a question or two on Joan of Arc. And I spent some time talking about her. What nation was she from? What war was she involved in? The nation was France. The war is known as the 100 Years' War. The nation was France, and eventually she was burned at the stake for the crime of witchcraft. But many years later, two popes, one back to back from the other, exonerated her. All right. Oh yes, the Chinese believed, and some of them still do, that if two forces were in balance, everything would be well. What were these forces? Yin and yang. Yeah, they still do. All right. Folk, that's about it. I mean, if you think this class is sleepy, next semester we teach in the same class right here, in the same, except it begins at 8:30 instead of 10 o'clock. But anyway, you've been a good class, and later on I'll recognize a couple of you for perfect attendance, but that is on the final. Anyway, be here at 10 o'clock, and let me remind you something, those of you who are here. Don't miss a final exam. I mean, you're not allowed to be made up. If you just simply become deathly ill or something, maybe you can call in, we can work something out, but it's a state law. It's not just the policy of the school. You've got to show up for the final exam, and I'm not supposed to give final exam makeups. But for makeups of other tests, if you want to make them up again, if you want to come in